bright and sunny here on day 2. And I looked at a bunch of photos online. Just trying to get my bearings here. There's, it's a lot like the Karmann Ghia. There's a lot of things missing. So you're trying to fill in all those blanks and figure out what goes on. And essentially there's like 2 levels here. There's this level here, and then the floor pan level. And then there's all these closing panels that happen that make things go. And once I kind of connected the dots, I'm starting to sort this out. So this piece here, let's just hold it up. This closes off the whole bottom here where, hold on. So this, and I know it's crooked here, but you get the idea. It holds the floor pan. So that's the line that we're gonna weld to. And when you start looking, it's like, oh, okay, there's a closing panel that just closes off the end. Then on the other side, you can see that closing panel. Then you see the steps and all that stuff. But before we put this longitudinal on, we gotta fix all of this heater pipe stuff because it gets covered up and never sees the light of day again. And in order to do all of that, I think this piece needs to come out, or at least it needs to come out in part so that I have access to all of this in here. I have this part as well. See, there's a little bend in it, but I think the part I have doesn't have that bend. So I may wind up sectioning that piece in rather than welding all new. But the good news is, like, once I have this bottom line established, I'm not sure this piece is in the right spot. But once I get this back line established, I can use a level and string and whatever else. All of this stuff exists at the same, or on the same plane. So anyway, sorry, rambling here on my thoughts, but gotta have this stuff right. I've got the cheapo Harbor Freight bender set up. They work okay. You can soften, I guess, the bend by moving the bar back. It just kind of doesn't make as tight of a curve. That's kind of what I want here. I just want this to roll a little bit, and I'm not exactly sure how much of this I need, so we'll maybe stop right there and see how it fits. So you can see the tail of 2 bends. This one was done with that backing plate about as close as it could get to the line. And then that was the soft one right there. Came out pretty good, pretty convincing. And I think at the end of the day, I think I'm gonna replace this all the way past that pipe and all the way to the end of this seam. So whatever that is, as long as it's kind of close, which it looks like it is, I don't know. I mean, it's impossible with all this crap sticking out to hold it right up there, but I think we're really, really close. And I'll probably just use this line right here as the scribe line. That way we've got a straight line all the way across and it'll be clean. Then this piece in here will be a different story, but this one should be really nice and easy. Let's peek in at some progress here. So we've got our piece bent up. This piece was in the pile of parts. It's a patch panel for here. So just kind of making sure that I'm scribing to those lines. It's gonna be a trick to get this piece to fit, but I don't think there's anything hypercritical in here as far as dimensions go. So we'll make her go, eh? I've scribed the top of this line, got a couple clecos in there. The thing that you always have to remember when you're doing these types of repairs is that you're one thickness removed. Ray Chalene does a great job of reminding us all of that. One thickness removed. So everything you do has to take into account the thickness of the piece of sheet metal you're putting in. So we're gonna zipper that thing off and then get this piece welded in, and then my next piece will probably be this one. planning to lay waste to some of this just so I can see what's in here. I think there's just a little box that gets formed, but I want to see what's in there, so away we go. Now that I got some things cleared out, I think the first thing to do is try and make the patch for the pieces that are kind of here and kind of aren't. This is one of those pieces. I think this just connects to the corner, and then I think there's a diagonal that lines up with this one here, and then this panel stops like at this line. So just holding this up and trying to trace it from the back side. I've got it roughed out anyway, so I'm going to cut well outside the lines here, and then we'll bring it in. I'm going to cut this remnant off, just knowing that that longitudinal will line up with whatever this panel line is. So. When I started cutting this piece out, everything started to move around. You can see the fender is attached, the inner fender is attached, all that. So I really wanted to get things dialed in. So I put this back where it was to make sure it didn't move. And then I scribed in this piece, made a couple reference marks here so I could get it lined up. And then threw this piece under there and then clecoed the two together. So I know these two are one good piece here, and I can tear all of this stuff out without having to worry about a reference mark. Hopefully, I should be able to line these guys up like so, and that'll put it right back where it's supposed to go. Hopefully. Well, not too terrible for day one. I got a bunch of parts fitted up here. The structural seems like nothing ever happens. Like you're just crawling in slow motion and all of a sudden, boom, everything's there. So we got these panels fitted up through here. We got that one welded in today. Got some panels cleared out, and then I've got a handful of them over here drying. I put some epoxy primer on them, and we'll get all of those welded in kind of at the same time. It'll go super fast. So that's gonna wrap it up for today. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. It's actually my birthday today. I could think of no better way to spend my birthday than banging on some rusty junk and doing a little welding with you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. We'll catch you on the next one.